Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Brain Gist. Today, I hope to answer some interesting questions that I get in the clinic a lot of times about whether you can take painkillers for your headaches and how often you should take them or how early you should take them. And if you do take them, if a headache doesn't go away or comes back later, if you are allowed to repeat the medications. I'm addressing this topic today and accepting the risk of being misunderstood because there's a chance that I might be coming across as contradicting, uh, some of the things that I'm believed to have said before about taking medications for headaches or migraine. So very commonly, I see this issue in the clinic, and that is of someone who's been diagnosed with migraine, and they come to the clinic and they're having quite a lot of headaches, and they do not take their pain medications, be it ibuprofen. I'll be mentioning ibuprofen a lot today, so I'm not in any way advertising ibuprofen or suggesting that it's the best medications to take for headaches. There's so many other options. So whatever medication you take, that's okay. So I'm just using ibuprofen here. So some of them would say, I do not, I've been getting a lot of headaches and I'm not taking my ibuprofen. I leave it till when I'm not able to bear the pain anymore. Seldom take it. I only use it when I have very, very strong headaches that has reached a level where I can't bear it anymore, I can't cope anymore. And when they say this sometimes, perhaps they expect some praise to, from me to acknowledge the fact that they're actually doing well. But I have a different perspective, and that's why I said I might be sounding contradictory. That's the kind of risk I accept to do this video. So the point is, the reason you have these medications in the first place is to reduce suffering. So when you get your headaches, you should use your ibuprofen or whatever other relief medications you have. So you do not have to wait until the pain exceeds a certain threshold. I do not think there is any advantage it confers on you, for example, for not taking the medication when you get pain. You just go through pain for no reason, just go through the inconvenience and the discomfort for no reason. In as much I understand that I've said in the past, and that's where the potential for contradiction is. But I think it's not contradictory if you take the message, in the right context and you try to understand what I'm trying to say. So the point is, we've said before that we don't want people overusing these medications. So the risks are, so what are the risks if you take too much of these medications? We know that it can potentially lead to worsening of your migraine. I mean, the frequency of headaches can get worse, what people call chronification. And then we know it can cause maybe tummy upset, can cause you to develop problems with your gastrointestinal tract, be it peptic ulceration or bleeding or what have you. And then we think it can damage the kidneys. But none of these things I expected to happen, with a single use or a short-term usage of these medications. A lot of these complications would arise after long-term usage, and that's not what we're talking about today. So long as, even if you're having to use these medications frequently, so long as you're not just resting at that point, you're discussing with your neurologist or your doctor to see what they can do as an alternative measure to lessen the headache frequency and your need for these medications, then you're on the right path. So I am pro using these medications as and when required. So If you're getting very frequent headaches, then you should use them frequently and then see your neurologist or your doctor to help do something else to lessen the frequency of headaches. That's what you should do. So I'm not as bothered about complications arising from these medications with short-term frequent use as I would about you getting or suffering needlessly from headaches. And one other thing I will add to that before I end this video today is the fact that when the headaches start, the earlier you take these medications in the course of a given headache, the better. Some patients in a similar vein to what I said earlier come to the clinic and they tell me, when I get a headache, I first wait it out and see whether it's going to be a migraine or just a headache. And then when I see that it's just a minor headache, I don't take anything, I just bear it. And some of them suffer through the day. I mean, they actually go through a lot of suffering, they can't concentrate, and yet they don't want to take medication. And what I tell them is, what exactly is the reward you get when you wait to see whether it's a migraine or not a migraine? So what's the benefit of waiting it out? Now, the risk you run is if you do not treat these headaches on time and they become intense, eventually the medication may not work when you now try to take it. So the earlier you take these medications at the onset of a headache, the better. And what is early? Say within the first hour, I would say. If you imagine, for example, you have a spark in your kitchen and you're getting some fire and you're like, oh, let me just wait and see what happens to this fire. And you don't extinguish the fire on time. It can potentially, intensify and become a big issue and requiring fire service to come help you. So it's a similar concept. So I do hope you learned something today, and I do hope you enjoyed. If you enjoyed the video, please share with your friends and give it a thumbs up, give your comments, and I hope to see you again. Thanks for watching today, and bye for now.